What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Got some double L action for you guys to check out in this video. My Lunalights are trying to get it in. This is a Dark Lunalight build that is starting to see a little fringe play in the OCG. The reason it sees play is because the turn 1 boards can be incredibly overwhelming against the opponents. You guys are going to see Burning Abyss are going to struggle even with Kaijus and some other cards, especially because this is a deck that can actually drop Azzathot during your opponent's turn, and Azzathot is a condition, so I believe even if your opponent uses something like Impermanence, it will not stop the Azzathot effect, and basically your opponent's just locked out. And you don't just get Azzathot, you also get like Cyber Dragon Infinity and a whole bunch of other disruptions. It's very similar to what you see with Raid Raptors or even Black Wings, and a lot of this has to do with the fact that, you know, these three cards, the Lunalight Tiger, the Lunalight Kaleido Chick, and then the Yellow Martin, the new card from Sisters of the Rose, they just have like ridiculous synergy with each other. Also cards like Zephyros the Elite, there's just so many Monster Reborns that you have in this deck. So he's going to go ahead, drop the Kaleido Chick in the graveyard, get Yellow Martin set up as well. The fact that Kaleido Chick is a cost is super good. Now he's going to bounce. He's going to go for the Wise Tricks to get Zephyros the Elite. And the thing is, a lot of these cards, like, it doesn't matter if you're getting the effects because you're going to use these cards for XC or Link material. Now he already has his Cyber Dragon Infinity online. That's one of the negations that you're going to drop. This is standard stuff that you've seen in Raid Raptors. Same thing goes with the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardique. It's an all deck dark, so why not run that? Most people would go with Fall Blades, but for the Azzathot play, you do need to actually go for the Phantom Knights of Launch. I thought maybe there was a chance he could have actually gone for something like what's the link for the Nightmare Griffin, but I guess it's just like unnecessary. Anyways, you do get a lot of damage on board, obviously, and you summon the Evil Swarm. I like to call this guy Thanos, but Thanatos. Basically what you do is you detach during your turn, and you need to get this guy with no materials on the field, and then during your opponent's draw phase, you detach again, and then you activate the Phantom Knights of Launch. And since you have a Dark Exceed monster that doesn't have any materials, you can actually take this rank 4, and then we know that you can rank it up into the Azzathot, and your opponent is locked out of monster effects. And if they're not having any monster effects, generally you use Cyber Dragon Infinity on their back row, and then you just OTK them during their next turn, or excuse me, during your next turn. For some reason, he didn't do that. I mean, he could have done it. I mean, granted, it would have gotten Kaiju'd anyways, but it doesn't matter, honestly. You can see the duel's over so quickly because he's playing Burning Abyss. He tries to go for some special summons. Nightmare is going to shut that down. This turn 1 board is just so ridiculously strong. Whether or not you have a hand trap in your hand or not, it's just very difficult. This is why, by the way, for those of you guys who wonder why I run the Winged Dragon or Spear mode instead of like Kaiju's, it's because of decks like this. Like decks like this, even with a Kaiju, it's very difficult to like beat your opponent. But with the Winged Dragon or Spear mode, you can just easily wreck them. Burning Abyss are going first. Man, I don't know. Cherubini is like a good card, and I get it, but is it me or this just feels like a lot weaker than maybe it's the Decode Talker? It just feels kind of shitty. This does not feel like a very strong turn 1 board, in my opinion, especially when Lunalights, now granted he did happen to have the D barrier, so there will be no Exceed summoning this turn, but Lunalights can still just drop a lot of monsters on field as long as they get Tiger. And even though he's going to blow the Tiger up, the Tiger is going to float into Yellow Martin anyways, and now he can get Kaleido Chick, and it's like, bro, he has 4 monsters on board already. I mean, he could easily go Boilsword Dragon or something like that. He does use the Unicorn. That's going to get hit by Decode Talker, so maybe he had a brain fart there, but it's okay. Yellow Martin's going to bounce. He's going to add his Wolf, and again, this deck can actually still fusion summon. Despite the fact that you saw the Exceed summons and you saw the Link summoning, you still play the copies of Wolf so that you can actually Link summon, or excuse me, so that you can fusion summon just in case you need to bring out my favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the blue-haired bombshell herself, Leo Dancer. I still got my ultimate rare copy. That card is so freaking sexy. Yeah, you can bring out Leo Dancer at will, and you can do a whole bunch of damage. She clears things out, and honestly, I was looking at it and I was like, I don't think 2 cards can kill Leo Dancer in most decks, but he got that Malicious in the graveyard, and that kind of changed everything. Well, really, what changed everything is when he brought out this freaking bastard. He brings out the Yazi, which, I mean, why are you even playing this and Burning Abyss? But, you know, brings out the Mare. Mare's obviously going to be able to get 4 monsters on board, including itself. And at that point I was like, yeah, I think you're gonna get Borreload. Now if you guys have not realized why Steam the Cloak got banned in the OCG, it's because of plays like this. You bring out Steam the Cloak off of Needle Fiber, and then the card, it like almost infinitely prints out tokens. It's not a hard once per turn, and you just constantly get tokens and tokens. Like, yeah, dude, I feel like if Konami's gonna give us Needle Fiber, they need to just go ahead and ban Steam the Cloak on our next ban list. Steam the Cloak is not done giving out tokens, man. He's just gonna keep on giving them out, and obviously that is a wrap. I'm still more of a fan of Borreload Dragon stealing the Leo Dancer so that I can kill you with the Leo Dancer, but Borrelsword Dragon definitely works in that case. Final duel. And to my surprise, even the Lunalight deck is playing Steam the Cloak, because why not? It's just that it's that good of a card. I was like, wait a minute, you're both playing freaking Steam the Cloak. So yeah, they're both playing Steam the Cloak. Yeah, Wade Raptor, Wise Tricks, obviously getting out the Zephyros the Elite. This is kind of like the combo starter. The combo is going to be a little different this time. Not going to go for the Thanatos. It's going to go a little bit of a different route, going for the Soul Shade Force. So that's an instant Cyber Dragon Infinity. I just feel like the fact that you can get Cyber Dragon Infinity is just so good. He does still go for the Phantom Knights rank up launch. That tells me he probably doesn't play Fogblade in this deck. I'll actually look at the deck afterwards, but he goes for Don Dragster instead. And as long as you still get the Evil Swarm Nightmare, it's just going to be incredibly difficult. See, this is where if you have Raw Spear mode instead of having the Kaiju, you probably win, because if you Raw Spear mode this, and this, I'm pretty sure they can't do anything. I mean, yeah, they have a Nightmare Unicorn, but they basically have to kill you that turn. Otherwise, what the fuck are they really doing? You get your Spear mode back, and you can either just stall with that, or you can just, probably well, yeah, you just stall for like one turn. He's going to go ahead and go for the Gamecill. Problem is, his opponent still does have that Cyber Dragon Infinity. And actually, no, what saved this game was just the Ash Blossom. Although, I mean, you could argue he could have used the Infinity on the Phoenix Rhino Warrior either way. So he's going to summon another level 3. See, I think, yeah, going for those decodes just don't really work. He does use the Hydralander on the Cyber Dragon Infinity, but the problem is, it's just like the Cyber Dragon Infinity obviously is going to protect itself, and he scoops it up because he can't get rid of that. I don't think when you play against these decks like this, Pendulums do this too, I don't think Evenly Matches good against these decks, because they're usually going to summon something that has some type of spell and trap negation, whether it be Cyber Dragon Infinity or Don Dragster. I think you have to have cards like Prankatrops, and you have to have cards like Spear Mode. I mean, Kaijus are good too, but I do think Prankatrops and like Spear Mode are probably the best, because those are cards that you can, like, Prankatrops, you can summon it, attack over Cyber Dragon Infinity, and then, maybe pop also like the Don Dragster, and it gets rid of 2 of their cards pretty much single-handedly. So that would have been kind of nice. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the short little display. Actually, no, we'll look at the Lunalight deck really quickly. Alright, so this is what the deck looks like on paper, and I'm sure there'll be some people saying, Cab G, this ain't even a Lunalight deck, because there were people saying that about the Red Eyes deck that I posted. I mean, I think there's a good enough amount of Lunalights in here to justify this being called a Lunalight deck. You got your 3 copies of Kaleido Chick, 3 Tiger, Yellow Martin is among the best Lunalight monsters now. Kaleido Chick has always really been kind of the best card, but Lunalight Tiger obviously is a lot more important because the Monster Reborn effect, now you can consistently resolve it more than one time, and with Zephyros the Elite, sometimes you can pull your Tiger off like 3 times in a turn, so you're going to want to hard draw this card. If you don't, it's really not that big of a deal, because you can use Lunalight Perfume's second effect and hopefully search it. Called by the Grave is in here because this deck is susceptible to Ash Blossom, things like the Tenki effect, and really the Perfume. If you go for the search effect, your discard is a cost. Now, if you discard, a Phantom Knight monster, or if you discard like Zephyros the Elite, it's not that big of a deal. Same thing with a Blackwing. But if you discard something important, you don't want to get out. You don't want to like lose out to Ash Blossom. That would obviously hurt. There is a 1 copy of Phantom Knights of Fogblade. I wasn't sure if this was actually going to be in the deck or not. But I mean, I personally would run it, because you are going to be going into the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardique basically every single turn, so like, why not? And even if Summon Sorceress would get banned. It's like the rest of the deck is really what carries you. The extra deck, the Dawn Dragster, the Cyber Dragon Infinity, the Evil Swarm Nightmare, not Bahamut. For some reason I always get those two mixed up. But these are like the three monsters that really carry you. And because there is the Luna Light Wolf in here as your one way of fusion summoning, you do need to run Leo Dancer and Panther Dancer. You don't Panther Dancer into the graveyard with Kaleido Chick, and then you can use your Wolf to go into Leo Dancer. Obviously, she's a card that can do 7,000 damage by herself into an open field. And sometimes there are cards like your opponent might have something like a Boral Sword or a Boral Low Dragon on the field. Neither one of those guys can target her, so as long as she's attacking into them and not having them attack into her, she can obviously wreck their shit. So yeah, just a really good build. Hopefully we get this card so you can start seeing all of these decks in the TCG.